Well, hey, it's an early one. I'm getting this out of the way. I've got loads to do today. So, I'm getting it out of the way now. Quickly though, I've just been down in the park with the fellas. One of them drove past me on the way there. Usually I'm wheeling the bells up there. I was just wandering up with a hoodie for one of the guys who's just started, so I gave him one of these because they all get one of those. Get a t-shirt, get some shorts as well, a hat. There's all sorts. Apparel, I think it's called. Anyhow, I was just wandering up there with just a hoodie for one of the new guys, Ben. And Dave stopped in his car and he was like, "You've forgotten something." I was like, "No, I haven't." And then he started to think, "Oh dear." So usually what would happen is if I'm wandering up there, you know, if you've got heavy bells and stuff, people are like, "God, this is going to be a tough workout." What the guys have started to realise, if I'm wandering up there with lighter bells or with zero, hello Paul, or with zero weight, then they start to think, "Oh, this is going to be tough." Because just because you can lift heavy shit doesn't mean anything. Okay, you could still be doing it wrong. Anyway, we digest. So, I've forgotten what I called this. Anyway, yes. Where do you start? Yes, that's what I'm looking at, because I hear it all the time. I don't know where to begin, or I've been doing this workout, so where do I go from there? Or I go running, so what do I do to strengthen my core? You know, I get loads of questions like that, loads of them. And while it is about the training, it's also about how you think about what you're doing. Okay, so like I say, this ties in with what I've just done in the park today. So I've been down with the guys with zero equipment. And I did a workout which I learned 2 years ago from Dan John. I learned it 2 years ago from him at my Strong First Level 2. I'm doing that again in a week's time. Not with him anymore, but basically I think that's why we did it this morning. I think it just popped into my head and I was like, do you know what? I haven't done that for ages. And it's great. It's like a reset. It's like pressing a reset button. So it's zero equipment and it's called the naked workout. We're all wearing clothes, so don't worry. However, the fellas at the start, they were all kind of looking at me very skeptical, but they've got the confidence in me to know that I know what I'm doing. So they're kind of looking at me like, this is a bit weird. Usually there's some bells here. Usually on a Friday we might do a load of conditioning just to round the week off. Do a little bit of strength and then a bunch of swings or a bunch of snatches or something like that. It was totally different today. I just threw this in. Didn't tell any of them. It was like, right, here's what we're going to do. So they all looked at me a bit weird, a bit suspiciously. But I think they've all got the confidence in me to know that I'll get the best out of them. And this has come from, we've had a few new guys start. And these guys have got like small mobility issues here and there. There was a guy last night we were trying to do some very easy bodyweight stuff, and there was one side he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it, and it's not going to be a massive problem because we'll get it sorted. I'm going to work with him on that, but it's an issue that needs addressing right now before we start chucking heavy stuff around. That needs addressing right now, because otherwise it's going to come up to bite him on the arse in the future. So, I was there with the guys this morning. They're all looking at me a bit funny. We started going through it, and by about 15 minutes in, they were all out of breath. They were all tired, but we kept going. It's all bodyweight stuff. It's very hard to hurt yourself doing this stuff. And it was just like, it's just kind of like a relentless workout, but it's not a beasting. And I was saying to the guys, I did this 2 years ago on my level 2 with Dan John, and I was in a room full of people who all fitness professionals who all know what they're talking about, who've all passed the Strong First Level 1, which was hard enough, and they're doing the level 2, and we were all knackered from doing this workout. We were knackered from it. It was tough work. It was hard work with zero equipment, and we're all used to living in heavy shit, right? It was zero equipment, it was really hard work. And the guys, and I was telling the guys this as they were going through it, and about half an hour into it, they were like, we can see that now. And by the end of it, they all felt great. It's like pressing the reset button. It was a bunch of mobility work with a bunch of conditioning work, with a bunch of kind of sort of technique work. And when people say, I want a stronger core, this was firing up their core like you wouldn't believe. And by the end of it, they all felt tired. They all felt like they'd had a workout, but they all felt energized because it set the central nervous system firing away, and they were using muscles that they didn't even know they had. Which, when you're doing work with weights, you can kind of say, right, as you're doing a press, squeeze everything, but fire up your core here. How the fuck do you do that? You say to someone, do that, and they go, there's no connection between the brain and that muscle. So with what we were doing, it turns on because we're kind of getting off the floor in positions where they have to move around and rotation and all of this. So this is what they needed. And like I said, having some new guys start. I've had guys coming to me for years, so I can just say, right, let's do this today. On one of the days, they might go, oh, hang on, I've got a little niggle here. I'll be like, right, let's fix that quickly. So we'll sort it out. They'll do something and go, oh yeah. They know their bodies now, so then I'll send them home and say, do these mobility drills. They'll go and do them. They'll come back. Oh, it's feeling better now. Then we'll get back into it. Let's go train. And they're away. Done. However, when new guys start, that's usually a bit more apparent that they've got mobility issues because they've not done it. They might be coming from doing zero exercise for ages, or doing exercise for the last few years in a gym, getting zero help and just hurting themselves. No pain, no gain. Whoever said that is an idiot. But anyway. So, this is the thing. Where do you start? You start from exactly where you are right now. Exactly where you are right now. So I've had people who've come through who there was a guy who was a triathlete. He did triathlons, but he said when he was going running, he got unbearable pain in the arches of his feet. Unbearable pain, which are two words that don't go together, as far as I'm concerned. So he came along, he did the 2-week trial. He said he absolutely loved it. However, he went and got a cheaper gym membership. It was cheaper than coming to see me. So I said to him, do you want to be able to do triathlons for, how long do you want to be able to do triathlons for? And he said, well, for as long as I can, forever. Okay, I think he was in his mid-40s. And he said that, and I said, okay, so here's what you need to do. We need to do a load of mobility work. We need to stop that unbearable pain in your feet. So we need to do loads of mobility work. We need to get some strength build up. And then you'll be able to do triathlons for the next 10, 15 years or more. But he went and joined a cheaper gym, which will probably mean he can do triathlons for another 2 or 3 years, and then he'll be smashed to pieces. So he's starting from a base level of really good. He was really fit. He's starting from a base level of really good fitness. However, it doesn't mean he can go forever. So you might be starting from a base level of rubbish fitness, of sitting on the sofa for the last 30 years doing nothing and you can't move. That's fine. We'll probably still do some very similar stuff to what I would have done with this guy. Building strength from a foundation. Once you've built that foundation, you get stronger, you get fitter, and you move forwards. And then you can start to specialize. It's described as a pyramid or building a house or whatever. If you start to build a pyramid from a very narrow base, you're done, and then you're injured. If you start building the base along here and then come up, it goes higher and higher. And that's how we work, and that's how we work with everyone. So when people start, they come along, and it's tough, it's harder than they thought. We'll do something very, very super simple, and they'll say, God, I didn't even know you could do that. That's harder than I thought. So if you want to know where you start right now, if you're smashing yourself to pieces all the time and you're always tired, and some days you get up and you just think, I don't want to go to the gym today, or I don't want to go running today, or whatever, because I'm still sore after yesterday, I would argue that you're not doing it wrong, but you're not doing it effectively, so you can carry on, so you can actually build that strength. What you're doing is smashing yourself to pieces and then having a few days off because you're knackered, and then smashing yourself to pieces and having a few days off, you're knackered, and then maybe having a week of smashing yourself to pieces and then getting injured, and then having 3 weeks off because you're injured, and then starting again, and that injury's still there. It's a vicious circle. It's one of those. Vicious circle. Anyway, so where do you start? You start where you're at right now. You learn the basics, and then you move from there. And all of this other stuff that you see that you see people doing in gyms, all this crazy stuff that you think looks amazing, and it's like, how the hell do they do that? If they're doing it properly, they'll have started out doing the very basics from where you're at right now. That's how the guys in the park start. That's how the guys on my online program start. The guys on the May Swing Challenge, 5 days in, they are all starting to see the benefits already. 5 days in. Some of them are doing 300 swings, and they're kind of, I never thought I'd even be able to do that, but because of how it's set up, that's what they're doing. 2 people from New Zealand in there as well, actually, which is great. We've gone global. So, have a great weekend. Have a think about what I've just said. Where do you start from? You start from where you're at right now. Don't care about anyone else. It's where you are right now. And if you want to know more about that, hit the link below. Have a great weekend.